Who gave you your opinion? Hello, it's April 2022, and I want to really briefly talk about something that I know I've talked about over the many years in a few videos, and I thought to revisit it. Why not? And it's going to be a topic that guaranteed most people have completely missed. Hidden in plain sight type of thing, right? Now, I have talked about recently relatively recently, how people want to obtain a title, say for example in a profession, simply to elevate their own personal opinions, theories, beliefs, wants, desires, whatever. So people obtain this title. Now, people who have more of a need obtain positions, for example, of authority, where they can actually enforce it. And the ultimate end of enforcement is through the threat of violence. And I've talked about this extensively. I want to focus though, and just want to interject here, there's many different ways to have some sort of title. Sometimes the title doesn't even have to be a printed word. It could be an achievement. An achievement, for example, something very visible, like say bodybuilding. Something visible. You don't have to say anything. You just look at the person and say, okay, they're big, you know, strong, whatever. And there you go, or athletic or anything else. So there's different ways to achieve having someone's need met who, for example, needs their opinions, theories, etc. to be listened to. It's like, wow, that person. Wealth is another example. The more wealth, the more smart someone is. But I'm just going to interject here with wealth for a moment. Wealth, there's something inherent about somebody being wealthy, being blessed by God or the gods or whatever historically, and people look at someone who's wealthy, who has an abundance of everything, being blessed. But anyway, that's a tangent that I'm not really looking at here. But what I want to talk about is professionalism, and what that really means. Now, we use a lot, like you can even go through a donut shop and say, oh, that person was very professional. But what does that mean? What are the characteristics that would inspire someone saying that person, or even that group, they're professional? Now, when you look at what a professional is, it's somebody who can detach themselves from the moment, for example, and not be unbiased and look at things objectively and deal with things not from a personal perspective. I'm summing it all up, but basically that's in a nutshell. Somebody who is not who themselves, or not reflecting who they are at the moment anyway, reflecting their mood. For example, being fake. So putting on the facade of pleasant and smiling, happy, conducting themselves in a proper manner. There's a difference between conducting yourselves properly, say for example, as a gentleman or a lady, and being professional. Because as a gentleman or a lady, you're still attached to your humanity, but being a professional, you're not. So we hear a lot of people using, well, that professionalism, want to see more professionalism. What they want in that characteristic is people to be more detached. Now, there are times when that's a good thing, because say for example, if you're an emergency worker, like an ambulance, you come to a scene, you have to be able to detach, because you just kind of go a little bit crazy. Maybe what you've seen is a lot of bad. Okay, so you want to be able to detach, and then once you're done with what you're doing, then reflect, and then in your own time, if there's anything to resolve it. So there is a time and place for that. But when professionalism is adapted or adopted into a person's personal character, they're becoming detached from humanity overall. not really caring. You can go through the motions and having the pleasantries and everything else. And you know, when you look at sociopaths and psychopaths, how they're able to blend in to society, pretty much go unseen until they get caught, and they're able to put on all these facades and learn. And this is what professionalism does, professionals. But I want to go just a step deeper and give you something to think about professionalism. Professionalism, to profess, to make an oath, to have some sort of code of conduct. You're professing something. A profession, and I know words do evolve and have multiple meanings, but which came first? Okay, just put that on the back burner. So you're professing something. So when you enter a profession, you're professing that this is who you're going to identify as, good or bad, right? So being a professional, you're professing, you're making an oath, and there's a code of conduct and a type of character that is expected. And that type of character, for the most part, is remote to whatever degree from humanity. So I just really want to give you something to think about with regards to the word professional, how it's used, what's being professed. Okay? Anyway, that's all I want to say. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. A Hollywood movie star or whatever, people want to accomplish something. They want to have that title. They want to have that degree. And they want to use that. So, for example, their opinion, their theory, their belief, their desire, whatever, carries more weight with people of like mind. People who buy into the whole, well, wow, you have this title, you have this degree, you have this profession, and that's going to be where I'm heading. And this kind of ties into with having a title, right? Because somebody with a title, you know, they must know something more, or I don't know, be smarter, I guess, whatever. Professional is someone who can detach themselves from, as a descriptive humanity. They can separate their emotions when, say, for example, dealing with someone or dealing with a situation. Now, yes, when you're trying to be objective about something, you have to be able to detach from, as a third party, from the parties involved. Now, I'm just going to interject here. The problem lies when you are one of the parties, whether it be directly or indirectly, okay? We see a lot of problems, especially in the legal profession and law enforcement and everything else, when you are a party to it, and there's some biases which you, for most people, can't detach themselves from their own emotions. Anyway, so being able to detach yourself from humanity, other people's emotions, feelings, whatever, and put yours aside. Now, the further remote something is from you, the easier it is to do. But there's a problem. When you do that, you lose touch with your own humanity. And the more professional you become and adopt into your character as a descriptive, the more colder you tend to be. Now,
listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people saying to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.